Yep.
And we are live. Comments rolling in. How fired up is everybody? It's finally here. The NFL football season, the K&K Sports Show. Kenny Kirkpatrick, Ed Siciliano, Kurt Valenti, and special guest, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Who is he? Who's back, Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Our fellow Giants fan from Florida, Mr. Paul Rosen, joined Sis and I tonight to team up against you, Mr. Valenti.
You know what? Well, our first comments from Luby Rosen saying hi, so thank you for watching with the little football. And David Slade saying, hello from the Mile High City. What is up, fellas? What is up, Dave? I need you, man. It's 3-on-1. It's 3-on-1.
He'll have his fun. You guys are going to have your fun on Sunday, so you're all good.
Yeah, we're all good. Henry Zimenoff saying, which team or teams could silence the critics by making the playoffs? I got a big surprise for you guys with picks in a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. So, Henry.
Let's see who's got the bigger surprise, because I got a deep sleeper.
I got
I
a
have
surprise.
a surprise, too.
I got a surprise. Mr. Siciliano, how are you?
I'm great. How's everybody doing?
Well, let me ask you this. How are you? I know Mr. Kirkpatrick is not going to say much about a team in orange and green this week because, sis, your boys just rolled, and it got ugly early, ugly often, and it was bad, Mr. Siciliano. So what'd you think, real quick, in a couple words or less, a couple quick words, what do you think, Alabama on Saturday?
Again, you know me well. I'm not one to boast. Take the victory. And they're going to be a tough out. That's for sure.
Mr. Rosen, what's your opening statements tonight?
Well, thank you for having me back. I appreciate it. The NFL is back. Everyone's excited. The fans are back, which is even better. And I think we're all looking for an amazing, exciting season. So thank you again for having me tonight. And I look forward to spending the next 2 hours with you guys.
Let's go, baby. And Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you?
I'm doing great, Paul. It's our pleasure to have you back. Not just because you're a Giants fan. Obviously, love having you on. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
I can't wait for tomorrow, and I hope Mr. Brady takes care of Dallas to start the season off. But what's fair is fair. I got to give Mr. Siciliano all the credit in the world. We all knew Alabama was good. I did not think this quarterback was going to be, in my opinion, 5 to 10 times better than Mac Jones. They got an added dimension now. This kid could do everything. He can roll out. He can throw in the pocket under pressure. He was making every play, and to me, that's just impressive. In 2 years, because he's only a sophomore, when he comes out, they're going to be tanking for him like they tanked for Trevor Lawrence. That's my prediction right now.
Okay, David, our good friend David Slade is saying, sis, Bama is in championship form. What's your response to that, sis?
One game at a time, my friend. One game at a time.
There you go. All right, what do we got going on, Kenny? You got the agenda tonight. What are we starting with?
We're going to do mostly NFL because that's what we said, NFL preview. But let's do a little 5 to 10 minute tops, the week 1 college football review.
Okay.
And we'll get into little, NFC outlook and AFC outlook. And then in between, we got some little fun segments. Each of us have a little segment to throw in. And we'll have a fun little 2 hours of football talk with everybody.
Okay.
So college football review. I'll start with, we'll give Sis the floor first. Because, Sis, your week one outlook, your quick review in a minute or less, what you thought of week 1 in college football. And then who are your top 4 and your 2 on the outside looking in?
Well, every year you're going to have upsets, so that was really no surprise. I thought Miami would have gave a little bit a better performance, and my question with Miami is, where do they line up to play the big boys? I mean, they look like they got a long road going into the season. You want my top 4 teams?
Yeah, and then if you had 2 on the outside that can be in the top 4 on the outside looking in?
Well, definitely it's Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma. Believe it or not, I'm going to put Notre Dame in there. They look pretty good.
Wow.
And I got, and I'm not a no. Trust me, never was.
He's not a Notre Dame fan, there, Paul.
But I always give credit to where credit is due. They part of my segment tonight is going to be what happened with that kid Milton in that game. But yeah, I'll put Notre Dame in the top 4 right now. They're gonna be tough to beat. From what I see.
And if you had 1 or 2 on the outside looking in, it doesn't necessarily have to be 2. If you got 1 on the outside.
Yeah, I'll give you the one on the outside is UCLA.
Okay.
They looked very impressive. Now is LSU, are they gonna lose 4 or 5 games this year? You know, who knows? But again, UCLA, yeah, they kind of look pretty good. You know, I was surprised at some of the upsets though. You know, you're gonna get into that, I guess. Whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How about Paul? Let's go to you. What was your thoughts of week 1 and then your top 4 and a couple on the outside looking in?
Yeah. I watched the Alabama game, and and I were texting a little after it got out of hand a little bit, but rub it in, Kenny. Impressive. What a performance. This kid, you know, he reminds me of Kyler Murray. That's who he remind me of. That was
good comparison.
The comparison. That's what popped into my head when I watched this kid play. Like you said, he adds a dimension that Mac Jones didn't have, and certainly they don't need any more weapons. But this kid was unbelievable. So, you know, Alabama is Alabama, and they're going to be essentially unstoppable. I know they're playing Texas A&M in a few weeks, but that's probably going to be just a stepping stone to the rest of the season. And you know, you can probably not even pencil them in. You can pen them into one of the playoff berths right now. Second, Georgia, obviously a big victory over Clemson. Impressive to hold Clemson the way they did. So they would be number 2. Ohio State would be number 3. I'm very impressed with the way Ohio State played last weekend. And my number 4 team would be Texas A&M. I think they have a legitimate chance to make some noise. Of course, they're going to play Bama, but I think they have an excellent team. I dropped Oklahoma. I watched a lot of that Tulane game, and I have to say, I have to give Tulane all the credit in the world to be displaced from New Orleans after the hurricane, to go to Bama and use their facilities, and then to have to travel to Oklahoma and play them. And the way they played, quite frankly, they could have easily beaten Oklahoma that last drive at the ball. They easily could have beaten Oklahoma. So I dropped Oklahoma to 5th, and I'm going to give some love. You're going to be surprised. I'm going to give some love to Cincinnati. The last couple of years, they have had an incredible turnaround in their team, and have to give them some credit. Now, they're going to play Notre Dame on the road at South Bend later in the year, so that should be an interesting game.
Absolutely.
In terms of right now, after week 1, Cincinnati is very, very impressive. And I'll just throw in my Fighting Irish at number 7. I was biting my fingernails after they were up by 18, and then they blew that lead, but they came through in overtime. And I was going to say something about the Florida State quarterback, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Fair enough. Kerr, you got some comments you want to read?
Yeah, I got a bunch of comments. This is from Henry Zimenoff. Colorado should avoid too many penalties on Saturday against the Aggies in Denver. Last week's first game was wild against the UNC Bears, but still. You know what? I'm going to surprise you tomorrow because I don't know if I'm going to say A&M's on upset alert, but that's not going to be a walk in the park at Colorado on Saturday for A&M. David Slade is saying Ed O fired the DC after last season. Did not see any improvement. UCLA is not a world beater, and they ran all over LSU. Charles Cole is saying, I agree with Sis. Notre Dame looks real good. Paul,
Charles, good friend of mine down here in Maryland. I haven't seen him in a while. Hope he's doing well. Good to hear from you, buddy.
John Beelan, Paul, you must have made Beelan's night because right before you said Cincinnati, he said, don't sleep on my Cincy boys. So you made him happy. Charles, again, Coles, he's high on the Notre Dame quarterback. Beelan is disagreeing with Charles and Sis, saying Notre Dame equals weak sauce. And there is Amari Smith, our guy, saying, what's up, fellas? So what's up,
Amari? What's up? Amari, we're doing Rookie of the Year candidates later. You might want to listen in a little later on who some of us have. A little spoiler alert there. Kurt, I'll go to you next.
Again, this was the I think this was the week of the almost big-time upsets. Washington, listen, how Washington loses to Montana and they were ranked number 20 is absolute, it's crazy. They should never be allowed to be in the top 25 again this year after losing that game. But I think right now it's a two-horse race, and Sis is Alabama. I mean, I know Sis talked a little, no one's beating them, and you know what? I don't know. I can't see otherwise than an SEC team beating them. So I'm going Bama 1. I'm going to go Georgia 2. I'm going to go Ohio State 3 right now because nobody else really impressed me that much. Number 4, Kenny's going to yell at me, but I am still going to put Iowa State because I'm a true believer in Iowa State. I know they almost lost at home, but to Northern Iowa, at least. But you know what? I just think I want to see them this week versus Iowa. You beat Iowa, you're back on my list. Number 5, I know everybody on this board is going to holler at me, but I'm putting Clemson number 5. Why? They shut Georgia out. They didn't give up any points. You throw a pick 6, that's how you lose the game. Clemson's defense is still a top 2 or 3 defense, maybe the best in college football, so I am going to put them 5. And I'm going to put Oklahoma 6. I was going to do Beelan a little favor and put him up there, but I'm going to hold off on Cincinnati. Cincinnati, Notre Dame, the winner of that game is going to be on the list. But Notre Dame was impressive, but I didn't like how their defense struggled and almost blew that game. But that's going to be my list right now, Kenny. Ticket time, Mr. Our Guy Carson. NFL football season is almost here. Have a great show, guys. You too, Carson, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Have a good show, Carson. Check him out on Twitch TV. Ticket time, Twitch TV. You'll enjoy his casino content over there. Watch us on the big screen or vice versa, and put Carson on the computer so you can watch both of us. Mr. Slade saying if Notre Dame looked good, then so did FSU. I was impressed with FSU. I'm going to go real quick because then what we're here tonight for, fellas, is NFL, so I'll do my review real quick. I'm going to go a different route. I was shocked at how poorly, in my opinion. Yes, Kurt, you said Clemson, you still got them in your top 6. Okay, but they didn't score a point at home. 3 points they scored at home against Georgia. You win that game against Georgia, you're going undefeated. You had all year to prepare for them, and you only put up 3 points?
Yep.
Shame on you.
It is
Another
a shame.
Shame on you. North Carolina. The whole ACC as a whole.
God.
Miami, yeah. I'm not going to say shame on you. You played the best team in the country. You got blown out. Okay. ACC or frauds in general. Miami will still win that conference. That's my bold prediction. And not, with nobody in the ACC is going to come close to the playoff this year. My top 6, Bama, Georgia. I got Ohio State 3, like a lot of you do. Here's where I went different. I watched this game. They were very impressive. And we're going to see they might be even more impressive this week. It's the Iowa Hawkeyes.
We'll
Looks
see
very
this
good
week.
against Indiana. Now they got a big game against Iowa State. Prove me right. Stay in that top 4 and beat Iowa State this
You know
week.
what, Kenny? I'm feeling a little wager this weekend between me and you.
Let's do it. I'm down. You know I'm always
You
down.
know what it is? We're right now. Crumb cake from Colonial Bakery. The winner has to buy and ship it.
Sounds good.
Done.
Cincinnati, like Paul had in Beeling, they're number 5 on that list. Yeah, with my darlings last year, and I'm going to start riding them. And then I pulled a Mr. Valenti. He likes to put 2 at number 6 or number 2. I got 2 at number 6, tied. Oklahoma and Iowa State are tied for number 6.
Okay.
And that's my college. That's our college. Anything else college football before we get into our NFL preview show?
That's it. Coach Breslin's checking in saying, what's up, guys? And he's saying, I am still looking for my Sharky's wings. That message has to be down to the missus who's downstairs because she is, and we are planning, Coach Breslin, excuse me, Sharky's wings night. David saying, have a good show, guys. Heading over to do the Rocky Mountain Sports Report, to do the Broncos show. Can't wait for your show and our show on Sunday.
You guys have 2 TVs. Go check them out. RMSR, Rocky Mountain Sports. And Dave Slade's Willow Seasonings. I am going to be putting his stuff on the air a little more. I can't speak highly enough about that stuff. It's so good, his rubs and seasonings. And Paul, if you like that stuff, little spicy, little smoky, he's got a couple different ones. I'll ship some down your way.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm always into barbecuing and
Awesome.
sauces. So absolutely,
definitely send some of his stuff your way. Kurt, you're up. Let's get into this is what we're here for, guys. NFL season starts tomorrow. Hopefully, Dallas, for many reasons, gets blown out of the water. I know Sis is still uptight. Still, he wants them blown out every game because they stole Jovante Smith from us. But I've got some quick hitters for us. And,
I got
NFL and football related.
Yeah, I got a couple NFL and a couple college. These are going to be one-word answers because I got 10 and I want to get through them quick. I'm going to go Sis, Kenny, Paul. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Sis, tomorrow night, who wins, Cowboys or Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay.
Kenny.
Tampa Bay.
Paul.
Bucks, baby, all night.
Question number 2, Sis. Did Alabama quarterback Bryce Young already win the Heisman last Saturday afternoon?
No.
Kenny.
No, but he put his name on the map, let me tell you.
Paul.
No, but right now he's the leading contender.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say he could be wrapping this up soon if he keeps playing like that. Eddie Murphy saying Tampa Bay. Question 3, Sis. Should Florida State, and what a story, Florida State quarterback Mckenzie Milton be the starter for Florida State going forward?
Without question, no doubt in my mind.
I 100% agree with you. Kenny.
I'm on board with Sis, 100%.
Paul.
It's consensus. Incredible story, yes.
Amari saying #Bucks win. Sis, do you trust Notre Dame's defense after watching them on Sunday night?
I think they'll get better.
Kenny.
I think FSU's better than people think, so I'm not that. I think Notre Dame's defense is okay.
Paul.
It's a good answer, Kenny.
I think they're okay, but I was just confused with the defense they were playing with an 18-point lead in the whole fourth quarter. They were essentially not. They were just giving them the run, and they were not allowing them an opportunity to rush the passer, and I didn't understand that. The defense was confusing as far as I was concerned.
Eddie Murphy saying, Kenny, what happened with Miami? LOL.
They played the big boys. Big boys did not sleep.
Little transaction yesterday. And my question for you, sis, will Le'Veon Bell make an impact with the Baltimore Ravens? Just signed to the practice squad.
Yes. Yes.
Kenny.
I agree with Sis. I think this is a team that he can make an impact on, knowing what the Ravens do over there. So, yes.
I'm with you guys. Paul, what about you?
Absolutely, and I'll expand on that a little later when we get into the divisions.
Okay. Sis, where does Cam Newton end up?
Don't know, don't care.
Kenny.
I'm going to give you a sleeper team. It could be Indianapolis.
Paul.
With Carson Wentz over there, you know.
It may be a while for him to get back into the NFL. So I think he's just going to hang out. I don't have a team off the top of my head, but I think he's going to just wait for a typical quarterback getting injured, and he may be getting the call at that point.
Amari's got a good one. He says Washington. I'm going to throw out Dallas a little bit, especially if Dak's not 100%. Somebody goes down. Jerry Jones likes to splash. I think possibly Cam in Dallas. All right, sis. What is on the menu for opening week NFL on Sunday? What's going to be on the menu for you?
For the Giant game?
Well, yeah, Giant game. Yeah, for the Giant game. What are you going to be eating on Sunday?
I don't know. It depends on when I get to the shop right. So probably definitely wings. I have the rub that Dave sent, which is dynamite. I already had that on chicken. So I might have some wings. I might make a nice steak. You know, nice salad. Just watch the Giants whip up on your boy.
Eddie Murphy saying a big Giants win is on my menu. Kenny, what are you going with, Kenny?
I ain't cooking while the Broncos are on. I'm going to ship you some Rocky Mountain oysters because the Giants are going to beat them. But I'm going to order a pizza.
Okay. Paul, what about you?
Probably wings. If I was up there tailgating, it would probably be steak, burgers, dogs, fish.
Boy.
What's that?
I said that a boy.
Yeah. But probably wings. We'll go out to Buffalo Wild Wings down here to watch the game.
Okay, nice. I might go a little raviolis, Kenny, from our favorite spot. I'm going to have little ravs and definitely some crumb cake in there. So a little salad, ravs, and some cake.
That's a weird combo for.
Kurt, what about a little sausage and broccoli raw?
Nah, not for me. I don't eat that. Come on. I'm plain Jane, sis. Come on. Well, you know what? I feel good about one Giant fan tonight. Eddie's saying, I am working, unfortunately. I'm going to miss the game Sunday. That's good for you, Eddie. That's good for you. So that's good that you're going to miss that because Giant fans are not going to be happy. All right, next question. 3 more. I'll be quick. Sis, Monday night, Ole Miss. Mr. Quarterback Matt Corral. Is he the real deal for Ole Miss?
Yeah, I liked him. He's a leader. He you see he takes command. The kids respect him. Yeah, he's a good quarterback. They got a good team.
I'm with you. I'm with you on both. Kenny, what about you?
You could just go right to Paul because Sis stole every word I was going to say. I mean, the kid looked great. I mean, it was Louisville. We all know what the ACC looked like, but you got to hats off to him. He played like a leader. So I think they got a nice little quarterback over there.
Paul, what about you?
Well, he's not Eli, but he's still a great college player. So I think he's the real deal.
Okay, and I have 2 more. All right, so sis, I think I've asked this question before, and this is going to get into our picks later on, but if I could tell you right now, you could take, to win the Super Bowl, you could either take these 4 teams, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bucks, and the Packers. Would you take one of those 4 or the other 28 and the field to win the Super Bowl?
I think I had said this a few weeks back. My pick to win the Super Bowl is the Buffalo Bills.
So you're
I
taking.
really like Josh Allen. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills to win it all.
Okay, so you're taking those 4. Kenny, would you take that 4 or the field?
I hate to do it, but I think I got to take the 4 because I'm not going to spoil it now, but I'll give out my Super Bowl pick later.
Okay. Paul, what about you?
I'm going to agree with Kenny. I'm going to take the 4. I won't tell you who I'm picking for the Super Bowl, but I will take those 4.
I'm going to shock everybody here because all I hear Sis and Kenny tell me is I'm chalk this, chalk that. I'm taking the field. I am taking the field. I am not taking one of those 4 teams, Kenny. Okay. And my last question of the night. What jersey, if it's a jersey, what jersey will you be wearing on Sunday, Sis?
Eli Manning's.
Kenny?
I'm avoiding the jersey this year. But I got the same colors that Mr. Rosen's wearing down there from Mr. Breslin's. I got a white, red, and blue Giants color coach's shirt that I'm going to be wearing K&K. It's going to be my new superstitious shirt when they beat the Broncos on Sunday. I'll be wearing it every Sunday till we lose.
Okay. Well, then you're going to have to find a new shirt for Thursday. And Paul, what are you going to be wearing Sunday?
I'm going to be wearing this jersey, number 10, Mr. Manning, retired in a couple of weeks.
I will be rocking number 58. Missed them last year, and he's going to wreak havoc Sunday. Mr. Von Miller will be worn in the household.
Kurt is owed a jersey. We had a little contest a few months ago. Kurt beat Sis, myself, and our friend Martin joins from Intercept Your Lunch on NFL free agency. So he is owed a jersey, and he told me he wants a Patrick Surtain jersey.
Yes,
so
I do.
we'll be getting that very shortly.
All right, so those are the quick hitters, boys.
That's great.
Good.
Anybody else have
Thank you.
awesome job? Why don't we move into NFC, guys? Let's do a little breakdown of the divisions. Since there's 3 of us and we got you outnumbered, Kurt, we're going to start with the NFC East.
Okay.
We'll do the NFC first. We'll do the AFC later on. Let's start with the NFC East. I'll start with Paul, and then I'll go to Sis, Kurt, and myself. A little breakdown of, like, in about a minute or less, Paul, or 2 minutes or less, I should say. The NFC East as a whole, what are you expecting from each team? And then your division winner. We're going to have a little Giants outlook after this NFC talk. So Kurt's going to have some questions for us. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
That we don't have to keep it all Giants in the 2 minutes.
That's all right. I think after last year, the division only can go up with as bad as everyone played last year. I think it's going to be competitive. I think the Giants are going to prove they're going to be much better and competitive this year. The Cowboys with Dak back, and for their hope, an improved defense should make it much easier for Dallas, especially historically they were on defense last year. The Washington football team, who knows with Fitzpatrick? This guy is he can be great 3 straight games, and then 4 straight games he can be terrible. Obviously, their defense could be the best defense in the NFL. And the Eagles, I think this is going to be a transition year for them, or 2. I don't necessarily think Jalen Hurts is the answer to that quarterback. I think that's why they went out and got Gordon Minshew, even though he may not be necessarily the quarterback of the future. But I think there's going to be a transition with the new coach, and I think they're going to have some weaknesses this year. So that's my overall feeling, and we'll talk about the Giants a little more.
Who's your division winner, Paul?
My division winner is I'm picking maybe from my heart, not my head. I'm picking the Giants. But I think it's going to be a very, very close division. 10-7, maybe 9-8, maybe 11-6. That kind of thing. It's going to be close.
Fair enough. Then Sis, how about it? You take over the NFC East as a whole. What are you expecting from this
I'll
division?
start with the Eagles. I think they're in for a long season. They got a lot of rebuilding and repatching to do. The Cowboys, I believe, will be so-so. If that goes down early, you can say goodbye to them. Washington's defense is going to carry that team, and I think Fitzy, as old as he is, excuse me, he's going to fool some people. That guy's the winner. For our Giants, again, I love the Giants. You know that as much as I love Alabama. And it's the old adage. What is their offensive line going to look like? We'll see Sunday. And that's the way the Giants are going to go this year offensively anyway. If their line goes, we go. If not, you might be looking at, again, 9-9, 9-7, something like that.
Okay, and who's your division winner, Sis?
Well, I'm going to take the Giants because I'm a Giant fan, obviously. That's me, though. So.
Okay, let's go to somebody who's not a Giants fan. Let's get Kurt's outlook on this division.
Couple comments, Eddie Murphy. If everyone stays healthy and if Daniel Jones plays like he did his first year, they will win the division. Coach Breslin saying Washington football team. He's also saying Giants are in trouble if they can't block anybody. That's right, Sis. You got it, buddy. Amari is saying Washington wins the division. I'll say this. I think the most exciting... You know what I think is going to happen? This is where I think... I know Kenny said he's fired up. The Giants got draft picks next year and all that stuff. But you know what? And not because Amari's here and not because Sis is mad at Dallas, but the player, Devontae Smith, this is where it's going to burn the Giants for not being aggressive and going to get that kid. Because I think he's going to be unbelievably exciting on the Eagles, him and Rager. I agree. I don't know how many they're going to win, but Hurts to Devontae, Hurts to Rager will be exciting, and the Giants are going to miss that. The Giants are not going to, I know they got Galladay and they got Shepard, but Devontae Smith on that team would have been, I don't know, just something exciting in New York. But I also agree with Coach Breslin and Sis. It's going to come down to the offensive line. Look, Dallas is the most talented team, hands down. If Dallas plays like they played in Dak's rookie year, where they run the ball, and play action with him and little bootlegs with him, Dallas is going to win the division. But I don't think they're going to. Dallas was going to come out 4 wide, throw the ball 40 times a game. Why? You got the best back in the league, Zeke, unless Barkley's healthy, but he's still a great back. The best offensive line, one of the best in NFL. And I remember Coach Breslin sending me a text last year, something to the stat where, like, when they run Zeke 20 times or less, there's something like 3 and 14 or 15. I just don't know why they don't run the ball. 60 to 70 times a game. I don't know why they don't do it. They would win the division, but they won't. So I am going to go with Coach Breslin's Washington football team. Defense wins championships. I like Fitzpatrick. I think it'll be between them and the Giants. And I think that the Washington football team will win the NFC East. Couple things. We got a comment from a Shaheed Lewis. All right, Coach, I see you. So Shaheed Lewis is checking.
That's my boy. It's pronounced Shaheed Lewis. Yes.
And Amari's saying Eagles a close second in the division. So I will take Washington, and Coach Breslin saying thanks, Kurt. But I agree. Offensive line, run the ball, play defense. Again, Dallas should do it, but they won't. I'm going to go Washington football team.
Coach Breslin, he only said that because he wants you on the show going on the board. That's the only reason why he said that.
No.
I can't get mad at that pick, but I'm not taking Washington. You guys, I'm not going to go on and add much. Washington, we all know what their defense is. You got Antonio Gibson and McLaurin, a year older. Logan Thomas could be a sleeper over there. Solid team, solid veteran quarterback, but Fitzpatrick has those bad games. Remember that. Philadelphia, I think, is going to be better than people think. Do I think they're going to be a playoff team? I don't think so this year, but I think they're going to be very competitive against their NFC opponents, including us, the Giants. I think they're going to be very competitive. I think if they got games circled on their list to win this year, it's their conference, it's their division games. Cowboys, don't get me started with them. They ain't winning the division because I'm looking at their schedule right now. 4 out of their last 6 games are on the road. New Orleans Thursday night, Washington right after that. Then the Giants, 3 games on the road in a row in December. A cold weather team, a warm weather team going to play Washington and New York. Then they got Arizona, Washington again, Arizona, those 2 at home, and end in Philadelphia. And Doug Peterson ain't in Philadelphia anymore, so Philadelphia will be trying to win that game last game of the season. There won't be any tanking in that game. And Giants will win the division, and we'll get into their outlook, and I'll tell you why they're going to win the division and the outlook.
Okay. Kenny, guys, Eddie Murphy last year was a disaster for the whole NFC East. It will be much better this season, I believe. And Coach Breslin is saying, sis, I can get on the board to show you how we will beat the O-line for the Giants. Just run by them. So Coach Breslin is not high on the Giants O-line.
We're going to see. We're going to see.
Yes, we will.
I don't, like I said, I try not to talk until the game's over, but, you know, they're making it hard, fellas. They're making it hard not to talk. We'll see. Sis is not saying anything. I like this. Let's move on. Let's do the NFC North. This one I'll start with Kurt, and then I'll go Sis and Paul in that order.
Okay.
This shouldn't take that long.
This is how I'm going to answer this. Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and Andy Dalton, Justin Fields versus Aaron Rodgers. Case closed. Packers, just it's what do I got to wait about 8-9 more months until Rodgers shows up in a Bronco uniform. But this is a joke. This is going to be a landslide, Green Bay.
Over by week what?
9, 10. 9, 10, it's over.
All
I'll
right.
say 10.
Sis.
Yeah, I'm going with Kurt. Green Bay, it'll be over by week 7. Yep.
And Paul.
Hard to argue with those guys. The Pack, they have everything going. I think Rodgers wants to come back and prove who he is. And if you, like Kurt said, you look at the rest of the division, I think the Bears are going to have a really bad season. I mean, I don't care how good Justin Fields is. They'll bring him in. He's a rookie. He may win a couple of games if they play well for him, but I think not going to do well in the Lions. So yeah. The Packers are going to rule that division very easily.
I can't disagree there. And like Kurt said, like by week 9, week 10, by week 12, 13, they might want to think about resting their guys for a couple weeks. Because remember, you got an extra game this year. So these veterans are going to start getting tired. So I'm curious to see that this year. See a lot of the veterans, once they have clinched, if they have anything clinched, you know, what they do. Because you are playing an extra game and you're risking your guys getting hurt. Let's go to the NFC South.
Kenny, real quick. Coach Breslin saying Packers. Nobody else will compete with them, and Amari's also taking the Packers.
Yeah, that was an easy one. Let's go to the NFC South. Start with Sis. You got the Bucks, Super Bowl champs, Saints, Breeze retiring, and then you got the Packers. Panthers and Falcons.
Again, how do you get away from Tampa Bay? And the rest of them are, you know, they're bridesmaids. So that's my take on that division. Tampa Bay. You'll see it tomorrow night, opening night.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah, you look at those 4 teams. The Bucks, by far and away, have the best team. The Saints, Drew Brees is no longer quarterback. I'm not so sure of Jameis being there. The Panthers with Darnold, who knows what he's gonna bring with him being in Carolina now, and the Falcons, they're rebuilding. Brian is still there, but I'm not exactly sure if they can compete at this point. So yeah, it's a Bucks division right now.
Sure.
Yeah, Coach Breslin's saying Bucks in a landslide. Nobody else will be able to play with them. Amari's saying Bucks. I'm going to say Bucks too. You know what? They figured out, come postseason last year, they again, it's the, Brady, but you know what? Brady just do what Peyton did with the Super Bowl 50. Run the ball, play defense, make a couple throws here and there. And, I mean, that team's loaded, man. They got, what's his name? Vita Vera. What is it? The guy, he's coming back. He was out, the defensive lineman.
Vita Vea, I think his name is.
I mean, he's coming back. Like, the team's loaded on defense. I mean, you still got Godwin, Gronk, Evans, Fournette and Jones. Brady controlling it. I can't see this division close. I think the team that's going to be surprised, though, I like Sam Darnold in with Joe Brady in Carolina. I like that. I think Carolina is going to shock. I think they're going to have a better record than New Orleans this year.
I like that a lot. And I can't, we're going to do sleepers in a second. But,
I was going to say O.J. Howard is who
right.
Knows so well. He's their third or fourth tight end on that team now.
Yeah.
And just to show you the depth that they have at especially tight end. And I think they brought back all 22 of their starters from last year.
That's right there. Unless something drastic happens over there, maybe the cannonball shoots out of the pirate ship over there and lands on the field and hurts a couple of players, the Bucks ain't losing this division. I think Kurt hit it on the button. I think that the Panthers can be a sneaky team in this division with their offense, and Sam Darnold finally getting a chance. We're going to see if he, and not only Sam Darnold, Kurt, the Panthers drafted all defense last year.
Yep.
And they didn't get a full year of practice in with COVID. Now these guys have had a year of practice, an off season that they've been able to practice, and they also went out and drafted the kid from South Carolina over Justin Fields and Mac Jones. So I truly believe they believe in Sam Darnold, and this could be a team to watch out for. We'll get into our sleepers in a minute. We've got one more division. I'll go back to Paul for the NFC West first.
This is obviously going to be a pretty competitive division. You have 3 or even all 4 teams all bunched closely together. But for me, I think the 49ers are getting a lot of players back that were injured last year. And I know you can say, well, the Rams got Stafford. But I think the core of the 49ers coming back, adding Trey Lance to that offense with Kyle Shanahan, I think is going to give them, in my opinion, the edge in that division. And I think the 49ers are going to win the division.
Let's go to Kurt next.
This is tough. Like Paul said, I am a believer in the Rams. I think 2 great offensive coaches in McVay and Kyle Shanahan, obviously. I'm a big Shanahan guy. But it comes down to me 2 great defenses, 2 great running games, but I'm not a believer in Garoppolo. I don't know how early they're going to play Trey Lance. So I am going to take Stafford, and I know this is Carson's guy, but Carson, Cooper Kupp, Darrell Henderson, Woods, Higbee. I like the Rams with McVay. He finally has a quarterback in Stafford. I'm going to take the Rams to win the West.
This division's tough, obviously.
Never liked McVay. He's a wise guy. Never liked him. I think San Francisco will win that division. I'll agree with Kurt. The Rams do have a good defense. and they'll be competitive, but I think San Francisco will win it all in that division.
The Kurt again. I'm going to go Rams. I think Stafford is going to be a big upgrade at quarterback over there for them in LA. I trust Carson when he says, you know, how much he's going to miss Stafford. I truly believe him. So just like he told us we're going to enjoy Galladay, I truly believe him. He's if anybody knows the Detroit Lions any better, there's nobody out there who knows the Lions better than Carson. So I'm going to go Rams, but I'm going to say that it would not surprise me if any of these 4 teams won this division. Seattle with the 12th man, back to fans in stadium there. You got Russell Wilson. Enough said there. DK Metcalf. 49ers, like you guys both said, they got all their guys back. You know, they're healthy. George Kittle, Garoppolo, you keep those guys healthy, watch out for them. Then Arizona, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt came over there from Houston. I'd not be surprised if any of these teams win it. I'm going to go Rams because I'd like to see Matthew Stafford, you know. And like I said, not to spoil anything, we got some MVP picks later and stuff like that, so we'll get into that a little later. How about a sleeper, Kurt, in this division? I know where you're going because you just said not in the division, the conference. One sleeper in the conference that can make the playoffs. Let's do it that way.
Okay, I had 2, so you're saying I'm going to have to go.
Go one, and then if we don't have it, you can give us the other one.
Okay, my first sleeper is it's a little shocking because I kind of mocked the quarterback later, but when you have Thielen, when you have Justin Jefferson, you have a pretty good defense, and you have Dalvin Cook, you know what? If you can't get into the playoffs with that team, something's seriously wrong. And I know he's overpaid and he's not a good quarterback, but it's really hard to screw that up with those weapons. So I'm going to take, as a wild card team, our good friend Ross Artal's Minnesota Vikings as a sleeper.
Not a bad pick. I mean, you know, you got the Bears and Lions in that division. That should be, you know, if you're going to be a playoff team, that's 4 wins right there. So let's go to Paul next.
Kurt, you stole my thunder. I had the Vikings as a wild card also. I had almost the exact same sentiments that you just articulated with their offense. Being in that division with, as Kenny just said, the Lions and the Bears, if you can't win 4 games out of 4 from those 2 teams, then something's bad. Again, I am not a Kirk Cousins fan, never have been, but in that division with the kind of offensive weapons they have, they should clearly win 9-10 games, which I think could be sufficient to get into the playoffs. So I agree with you, Kurt. That's my sleeper pick to get into the playoffs.
Coach Breslin's picking the Rams with Stafford. Kenny.
Okay. So we got two Packers and 2 Vikings and 1 Rams. Sis, how about a sleeper in the NFC?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer in that division. It's Minnesota.
I'm going different. I'm going deep sleeper, and it's Carolina Panthers. Same reason, same situation as the NFC North. Packers are going to run with the away with the NFC North. Buccaneers are going to run away with the NFC South. Somebody's got to get second there. Panthers they got McCaffrey if he stays healthy, DJ Moore if he stays healthy, Robbie Anderson teaming back up with Sam Darnold. Watch out for this offense. And like I said a few minutes ago, all those young kids are going to be hungry on defense to prove themselves this year. So I'm going to take them as a deep sleeper, getting a wild card spot in the NFC. And you had a second one, Kurt.
It would be Carolina, yeah.
Okay. So let's move on. Kurt, we're going to go to our Giants outlook. You got some questions for us here.
I do.
And you take over, and I'll be part of the panel here. And then we'll have our fun with you a little later in Bronco Mania.
Okay. Again, hopefully you guys like some of my questions. And I'll just start it off nice and easy for you guys. And I'm going to start with Paul. how much, if you were the Giants, how much would you play Saquon Barkley opening day against the Denver Broncos?
You actually stole my thunder, because that was one of my questions on my roundtable, but I'll answer it. I think he's going to play a little bit. I think they'll get him out in a variety of situations that perhaps they'll try and get him in space, throw some passes out to him, not give him a environment where he's going to be hit a lot, running him in the middle. I think if they can get him outside, having sweeps or screens, checkdowns where it can be out in space, I think they can do that between 8 and 12 plays, maybe 13 plays. I think that'll be it, because I believe they're going to try and have him play Thursday night, and they don't want him beaten up against the Washington football team, which obviously is a quick turnaround 4 days later.
Okay, I'm going to hold Kenny. I'll hold yours and Sis's comments, because since Paul has that in the round table, I'll hold
fair.
that.
That's fair.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to start this one with Sis, okay? Right now, I guess two-part question, Sis. Right now, if you had to go and give Daniel Jones an extension, when I mean an extension, I mean 4 years, $30 million, so 4 years, $120 million contract. Right now, would you give him that deal? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, what does he have to do this year for you to really consider doing that? Because
He's got to make the playoffs.
Kenny, what about you? Two-part question. Would you do it right now?
Would I do it right now? What was the numbers were 4 for 120?
4 for 120, so 30 a year.
The going rate of quarterbacks, I hate to do it right now, but I think I may be forced to do it. Yes.
You would.
30 million is nothing for quarterbacks these days. So, you know, Dak Prescott just got how much? And we all know how me and you feel about Dak Prescott.
I guess my second part though, Kenny, is right now, would you be saying I'm fully committed, that's my guy for the next 4 to 5 years?
I want to say yes. You know, I want to back my quarterback. I'm not 100% obviously, but I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to go with the extension.
Paul, what about you right now? Would you give him that money?
I would not give him that money right now, but what I would say is if he proves this year that, and I don't believe they need to make the playoffs. He needs to show them that he is a quarterback that can play in the NFL, that he can lead them to 9, 10 wins. I don't want to put a number on it. But if they have a winning season and he proves that he's taking that next step up, he's going to be there next year. And ultimately, I think they would then sign him to a long-term contract.
Okay, Kenny, I'm gonna start this with you, Kenny. Rank in order. I'm gonna give you 3 guys from the hottest to the coolest. So my question is, rank who is on the hottest seat this year. 1 through 3, hottest being on the hottest seat number 1. Joe Judge, Daniel Jones, Dave Gettleman. Rank them in order.
This is another one of Paul's questions.
Oh, is it?
So,
okay, all right.
Hey, Kenny,
Kurt didn't read my text, so.
That's so funny.
Then I'll hold off.
No, let Paul answer.
Okay, we'll let Paul answer. Good. We'll let Paul answer it. Good.
I think, again, it goes back to the offensive line. If they come out and their line looks like, well, I'll use the word crap, and Denver runs right through them, and, you know, what's the over and under between Chubb and Von Miller getting sacks on Sunday, and the Boo Birds start, and it gets worse going 4 days later to Washington with their defensive line. Dave Gettleman is not only on the hot seat, he's a one step away from going down south to you know where. So he's clearly on the hot seat. Joe Judge is here. He's not going anywhere. I think 99% of Giant fans love this guy. He's not going anywhere. If they won 3 games, John Mara would not get rid of him. And you know, again, Daniel Jones, if he shows some type of improvement, he's going to be here next year.
Okay. We'll hold off the Kenny and Sis because, again, Paul, I apologize if our questions are the same. Just let me know because I did not know the questions.
Well, that's all right. Paul gets to answer the questions.
Paul gets to
That's all
answer.
good.
Kenny, I'm going to start with you. Who will be the most surprising Giant this season?
Most surprising Giant.
Best surprise in a good way. In a good way.
Going to be you're old, and this is bold because of our guy Saquon Barkley. I think you're going to need a good backup spell back, and I think it's going to be your guy over there that played in Denver, Jovante Williams.
Okay. Paul, what about you?
I'm going to shock a lot of Giant fans and a lot of people, and I'm going to say a guy who has been dumped on, probably rightfully so, from Giant fans and from the press. But I think given the weapons that they brought in to complement him, I'm going to say Evan Ingram. I think this guy is going to take a step up and really show the talent that the Giants thought he was and could be. So I think he's going to be a shocking surprise this year.
Like it. I hope so.
And Sis, give me who's going to be the surprising Giant this year?
Look, I love you, Paul. He's terrible than anything. My guy is Kyle Rudolph, the tight end they just picked up. That kid is a football player, played at Notre Dame, and I think he's going to come up roses this year. As long as he stays healthy, he can run patterns, he can catch, and he's fast.
It's good red zone target.
Right.
That's my take.
But that's why I think with having Rudolph there, it takes a lot of pressure off of Ingram and the expectations, in my opinion, that the Giants have for Ingram and the fans. Rudolph, if he's healthy, which is always the key, is going to hopefully take off of Ingram. And I think he hopefully will relax and be able to play up to the level that his talent is. I mean, his talent is there. It's just a question of being able to get that out of him. But I think Rudolph, you make a good point. Rudolph being there and being able to do a lot of the things that maybe Ingram can't do, they could utilize him, which, comes back to Jason Garrett and his game plan.
This is his 4th year, isn't it? Ingram's?
I believe so, yeah.
I think Ingram is the last Reese guy on the Giants. Reese draft pick, I think.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Coach Breslin is agreeing with Paul. I agree with you, Paul. I was going to say him as well. If he can put it together, he can be really good. So, he is a fan. Okay, Sis, I'm going to start with you. What is the most crucial position for the Giants this season?
I'm going to say the wide receiver position. Those guys, they got the big bucks. Now it's showtime. Let's see what you got.
Okay,
you get paid big dollars. Let's see what you got.
Coach Breslin is saying left tackle. Kenny, what about you?
Coach Breslin must be drinking that Kool-Aid that's spiked tonight.
I'm gonna go position player. Also, I'm gonna say running back. Saquon was hurt last year. It's gonna be crucial to keep him healthy this year and to have him have a good year. Top 5 running back this year. It's gonna be crucial for our success this year. Simple answer.
Coach Breslin saying, I have your Gatorade, sis. Paul, what about you? Most crucial position for the Giants?
as much as the quarterback runs the team, and obviously Barkley has got to come back healthy, I've got to say I'll combine the whole offensive line and say the O-line, because if they're not opening holes or pass protecting, this whole system, everybody that they brought in, it's going to be worthless. No matter how gaudy Galloway and Tony and Kyle Rudolph are, if they can't block and
it's not going to matter, right?
It's going to be a long season.
All right, I'm going to throw in. I got two more questions, Kenny. Okay, two more.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to pick what game, who wins where. By the way, Jimmy Eiserman is saying, "What's up, gentlemen?" Hello, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Coach Breslin's saying their favorite play will be a screen pass this year. I don't know if they're going to call it a screen or a lookout and hit it the back. But, okay, you open up versus Denver, obviously, Sunday. You go to Washington, home versus Atlanta, at New Orleans. How many games do they have to? How many wins do they have to have after those 4 games? Or you're going to say it's a long season. It's going to be a long season. Paul, how many games do they have to win out of those 4?
Ideally, if they split the 4 games, I'd be pretty happy, because they've gone 0-2. They've started the season 0-2, 0-3 the last 3-4 years. So any wins over the first 4 weeks of the season. And let me just say one thing. With the hurricane in New Orleans, that game may be relocated. I'm not sure where.
That's big. Not the play.
They may have to relocate that game from out of New Orleans, because this weekend, actually, the Packers were open down in New Orleans, and they relocated the game to Jacksonville. So that's something that we'll have to watch and see. But ideally, I'd love them to be 3-1. I remember Coach Coughlin used to always look at quarters of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He'd take 4 games at a piece and see what your record is after each of the quarters. So if they could be 3-1, I would be ecstatic.
Coach Breslin is saying my guess is there will be 2-2. Jimmy Eiserman saying 2-2. Kenny, what do you think? Those 4 games, how many do they have to win?
It's got to definitely be 2-2, but I would not be surprised 3-1. To me, you got to book your home games. You got to beat Denver and you got to beat Atlanta. And then, like Paul just brought up that great point, New Orleans may not be a true home game for New Orleans. And the Giants always play Washington tough, no matter what the situation. And, both going to be on short rest, Sunday and Thursday. So we'll see. But the Giants have always played Washington tough the last few years. So wouldn't surprise me if we start off 2-0. It wouldn't surprise me if we start off 0-2. But I definitely want to be 2-2 after 4 games.
Sis, what about you? How many games do they have to have won out of those 4 games?
I'm very realistic. If they're not 2-2 after the 4 games, it's going to be a long season for them.
Okay. And
Agreed.
my last question, it's a 2-part.
Kurt, can I just jump in? I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
When Katrina hit New Orleans 16 years ago, the Giants were supposed to play down in New Orleans. Ironically, they moved the game back to Giants Stadium, and the Saints were the home team and the Giants were the visiting team. And because it was they quickly had to turn it around. Obviously, everybody who bought tickets essentially were Giant fans. So even though it was a Giant road game, it was a Giant crowd, and the Giants I wound up buying tickets to watch them play on the road against the Saints at Giant Stadium.
Nice.
That's funny.
They can't beat that. And the last question, 2-parter, Jimmy Eiserman saying bold statement, Giants will be 3-1 after 4 games. All right, I'm going to start with Paul.
Hope so, Jim.
Real quick, best case and worst case scenario for this Giant team this year?
Who's first?
Paul. Sorry, Paul.
Okay. Best case, if healthy, if all breaks go their way, if Jones progresses, Barkley comes back, I can see them winning 10 or 11 games and making the playoffs. Worst case scenario, everything that he just said just implodes. They win 5 or 6 games again, and that would be the worst case scenario. And yeah.
Okay. Sis, what about you? Best case scenario, worst case scenario for the Giants?
Oh, here's the worst case scenario stat that I found today. You ready? Andrew Thomas, Mr. Big Time Georgia player. Von Miller has 105 sacks, and Brady Chubb has 19.5 sacks. If Brady Chubb's not in jail,
they're coming.
Andrew Thomas, you might be eating your lunch in the locker room at halftime, buddy. Gotta stay healthy. I don't think you're going to see Barkley carry more than 10, 12 times tops, not passes out of the backfield, regular carries. I don't think you're going to see more than that Sunday. I think they're going to try ball control Denver, keep the ball away from Denver's offense, because Denver's offense is sick. And if the Giants start turning the ball over and everything, that game could be over by halftime. So that's my take on that game.
Okay. Kenny, what about you?
By the way, we're talking about best case, worst case scenarios. I'm going to shock you with my worst case scenario, but just little our schedule. We got the 25th ranked schedule this year, so this is a make or break season for sure. On paper, you never can tell as the season progresses, but right now you got the 25th, hardest schedule. So time to step up. Best case scenario, obviously division winner, maybe win a game, surprise a little bit in the playoffs. My worst case scenario ain't gonna be 5-12 or 4-13. My worst case scenario is gonna be just missing the playoffs.
Draft picks.
Because we have the Bears pick next year, and if we have a top 10 pick, and the Bears end up having a top 10 pick, we might be able to move up to number 1 or number 2 for a quarterback if we're 4-13 and we need a quarterback.
Yep.
So that would be not my worst case scenario, finishing 5-12, 4-13. Just missing the playoffs like we did last year would be my worst case.
Okay. Kenny, I want to ask one more thing, and this is for you. I don't want you guys to answer this now. We're going to answer this at the end of the show, okay? I'm not even sure if we talked about this. Jeremy Oswald saying Giants 3-1 after 4 games. Nope. Laughing. So I'm with you. But here's my question for you 3 guys and the audience. But Kenny, we're not gonna answer this now, because I've always wanted to know this, and I don't think it's gonna happen this year, but one year it could possibly happen. If the Jets and Giants happen to both be hosting the AFC and the NFC championship game, what would the NFL do? You can't play it at 2:30 and 6:30 if they're both home. What would the NFL do? Sunday, Monday, Saturday, Sunday, 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So think about that, because I'm just.
Here's a more realistic one. Got a better chance of seeing it in LA because the Rams and Chargers are playing at the same stadium.
What would the NFL do? I want any of the audience to answer it, and then at the end of the show, we're going to answer that. But Kenny, that's my Giants questions. I hope you guys like them, and I hope I got the little ears perking up with the Giant talk.
That was a great segment, Kurt. I enjoyed your Bronco questions.
Really good.
Next on the list is Paul's first segment with us. We named Rosen's Roundtable. He has 5 questions for us, all topics, and he'll go around. Paul, the floor is yours. You can go whatever order you want.
Okay.
Ask anything you want.
Thanks so much, Kenny. So Kurt, you stole my thunder in a couple of questions. But
I apologize.
That's all right. All good. So I'm going to ask the first question. We'll start with Kurt. So, does Saquon Barkley play Sunday, or do they hold him back until Thursday against the Washington football team, or does he play a little in both games to play in less than 1 week?
You know, it's hard when you really think about it. Like, if I was a Giant fan, I would be like, get him in there, play him. But I just think with that Washington football team being the second game, and that game's gonna matter more. I think he's definitely gonna dress Sunday. But I agree with like what you guys said, like 10 to 12 touches, running the ball, maybe 1 or 2 passes, but I don't think he's going to be a 3-down back because I think that Washington game is more important for them on Thursday. So I think he'll play a little, but nothing crazy like you guys said.
Okay. Sis?
I take the fifth on that question. I will not answer. All joking aside, I don't think he's going to see a lot of playing time, and I agree 100% with Kurt. Denver's not in our division. I think they'll play him sparingly. If he gets 10 to 12 touches, in my book, that'll be a lot. And let's hope if he does play that he stays healthy. Yep.
Absolutely. And Kenny?
I think he's going to play some against Denver, but I think you're going to see a lot of Devontae Booker, and I think it's going to be motivation for Booker, hopefully, playing against his old team. I think you hit it on the button when Kurt answered the question. I think you're going to see him get a big workload against Washington, division game.
Okay, great. All right, question 2. Do the Bucs suffer a Super Bowl hangover? Sis?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. And again, we've all played the game. Injuries have so much to do with it. Tom Brady is not 25 anymore. I'm not saying I want to see the guy hurt because I'm not that kind of person. But could they get dethroned? Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Kenny?
I think they're going to have a little Super Bowl hangover. I think the Packers may be hungry. The Rams, they're going to have a target on their back. Their division, I don't think somebody's going to take it from them, but the Rams, the 49ers, the Packers, you got a lot of hungry teams in the NFC that are going to come after them, and I think they may have a little chip on their shoulder. Not Brady, but you got the other guys there. Gronkowski may have a chip on his shoulder. Antonio Brown. The other receivers, you may see a little, overconfidence over there is what I'm trying to say from Tampa Bay. So they may suffer a Super Bowl hangover, absolutely.
And Kurt?
Coach Breslin's saying, yes, I think they may, but I don't think the conference is that strong. Only team may be the Packers that could beat them. Jeremy's saying not 25 no more, but he has won 2 of them in his 40s. I'll say this, they're not going to have that hangover tomorrow night. Brady, the banner in Florida, and that defense against Dak Prescott tomorrow night, oh my God. That is just going to be Dak Prescott. You're going to see why it's a waste of money for $40 million. But I'll say this a little bit, Paul. I think like record-wise maybe, but as it showed, that team when it comes playoff times, they got the running game, they got the defense, and they got the quarterback to make the play, and I think they're going to be right there. But I think people are saying they're going to go 17-0 or what. I don't believe that's going to happen. I can't see that happening. So I'll say a little bit, but I think they'll be there come championship, NFC championship game. I think they'll be in it.
Okay, great. We'll start with Kenny. So John Mara has said, quote, everyone is on the hot seat. That being said, how badly would the Giants have to play regarding their record to have them separate from Dave Gettleman?
I think Gettleman's got to make the playoffs, or I'll stick with make the playoffs. I was going to say the offensive line plays well, but as a whole, the Giants have to make the playoffs. They got to win this division. I think Gettleman's had enough time And I've been a big supporter of Dave Gettleman with his off-season moves. So, but I think this is put up or shut up now for Gettleman. And, these are all his guys. Like I just said earlier, Evan Ingram's the only Jerry Reese guy on this team. So these are all Gettleman's guys. It's time to put up or shut up.
Yeah. Kurt?
Yeah, I think two things. I think one, like Kenny's saying, obviously playoffs. But the only way I think he survives if the Giants don't go into playoffs is if Daniel Jones goes off. Because he's tied to Daniel Jones. That was his guy. He bypassed other guys. I mean, probably lucky that he bypassed Dwayne Haskins, but he's still tied to that quarterback. So if the Giants get into the playoffs, I think he's safe. If they don't get into the playoffs, but Daniel Jones is really like the question I asked you guys, and you're like, yeah, he's our quarterback for the next 5 years, I think he's safe. But no playoffs and Daniel Jones looks bad and you're looking for a quarterback, I don't think they're going to let him draft that next quarterback.
Yeah. Sis?
I agree with Kenny said. This is not, we're 500, good year. If the this again is my opinion, if the Giants don't make the playoffs, Gettleman's gone.
Good.
And by the way, our good friend Manny DeLima is saying Giants ain't making the playoffs, LOL. So he's just answering you right out of the gate. Says
That's talk from a Cowboy fan, by the way.
Oh, I thought he was a Denver fan. My bad.
No, Manny tomorrow. You know what? Here's my suggestion for Manny tomorrow. I don't know if he has a Cowboy helmet, but he should wear it tomorrow night because he's going to need it with Dak because those guys are going to be all over Dak tomorrow night. So wear your helmet tight tomorrow night, Manny, because you don't know where. Listen, in the house they might be coming. They might be coming after you tomorrow night. You better,
he better
head
go
on a
into
swivel.
He better go into a shelter tomorrow night. Forget a helmet.
How about JPP getting a few sacks tomorrow night?
What would that be?
Yeah.
No, but I do need one thing from Manny. 3 fantasy football drafts. I got CD Lamb in all 3, so I'm going to be pulling a little for CD Lamb tomorrow night.
Not too much. So there have been a number of quarterbacks going to new teams this year. Wentz to the Colts, Darnold to the Panthers, Goff to the Lions, Stafford to the Rams, Bridgewater to your Broncos, Fitzpatrick to the Washington football team. Which one of those quarterbacks do you think might be the most successful? Or maybe there's another quarterback I haven't listed here that might be on a new team that might be more successful. Kurt?
I think it's. You guys were just. I was telling Kenny about Sam Darnold, but Matt Stafford. I mean, the Rams the Rams are so talented, and they had Jared Goff, and I could talk 2 hours for Jared Goff, how bad he is. So I'm going Stafford. You guys will be shocked later with my picks, but Stafford to the Rams and McVay's offense. Carson's going to be a happy man because that's his boy. So Stafford to the Rams.
Carson's not going to be a happy man. He's got Jared Goff.
Well, but he's a fan of.
I'm
Stafford.
The players,
That's what I meant.
the players,
Yeah.
Yep.
Sis?
I'm right with Kurt. Stafford, hands down. That
Coach
kid's
Breslin.
animal.
Oh, sorry, sis.
That's all right.
Coach Breslin's with us too. I agree. Matt Stafford is going to make a big difference. Manny agrees. Manny agrees too. Manny's with Stafford.
I'm going to go a
too.
little different. Stafford would have obvious choice. I'm going to go Mac Jones or somebody else. He got the job from Cam Newton. Belichick and McDaniels believe in this kid. Sis sold me on him. I think he's going to make a huge impact over there, and they're going to contend for that AFC East if Buffalo has a hangover.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, great. I know we're going to talk about Rookie of the Year in a little bit, but which one of the first-round rookie quarterbacks do you think will be most successful? Lawrence, Wilson, Lance, Fields, or Mac Jones? We'll start with Kenny.
Mac Jones, obviously, up. And by the way, we're talking about Rookie of the Year. Got our good friend Amari Smith. He's going to be coming in and joining us in a couple minutes, guys, after this segment. Kurt, we'll skip over AFC. We'll do Sis's mind and then AFC. We'll do it that order. I want to flip-flop those, get Sis's comment. But Amari's had Devontae Smith's cousin. And well, Sis is gonna, enjoy this half hour or so with Amari joining us. So he'll be coming on in about a minute or two. Yeah, Mac Jones.
You could skip my segment if you want. I want to talk to this guy.
No, Sis is mine. That's on your mind. You could talk about whatever's on your mind. So you want to talk about Jovante? It's your segment, Sis.
No, I didn't know this guy was coming on.
He asked about a half hour ago, and we invited him. So
I'll be right back.
All right.
Kenny, real quick, Manny's saying Justin Fields is going to have a good year. Coach Breslin agrees with you. Mac Jones, biggest impact. He is on a team that can win games. The other teams are terrible.
What do you think?
Did you go?
Oh, I'm sorry. I would go. Mac Jones. I don't know. I can't go. I've talked so much trash all year. I got to stick with him. Trevor Lawrence. I just think he's that good. I saw it. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence. I just think he's
that's a good one. But I want to see him win at least 6 or 7 games this year.
Yeah, I agree. He can't win 3 games. If he does, then you know what? I got to eat my words. But he wins 7 games with that team.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm going to shock you guys. I think Zach Wilson is going to be successful, very successful this year. I think the Jets have finally started to build something. I think their offensive line is going to be good. I think they've gotten some pretty good receivers. I'm reading about this kid Moore, who's supposed to be amazing. Obviously, they got Corey Davis. So they've gotten some weapons for this kid, which obviously they didn't do for Darno. And I think he may be successful.
Great point.
Fair enough. Was that your last one, Paul?
Yes, that was my last one.
All right, great segment. Welcome addition to the K&K. When you're on, you'll have your own segment now, Rosen's Roundtable. I'm going to try and bring Amari in.
Listen to this. Paul started something with a couple Jet, and these aren't even Jet fans talking, but the Jet people getting a love. Manny, Jets are definitely going to be a better team than last year. Joe Breslin, I agree, Paul. I think he is going to be good too. I forgot about him, but he is going to be very good, and the Jets will be a good team.
Paul, I think he is going to be good too.
So
I forgot about him, but he is going to be good.
Amari, I think if you got your computer volume on, if you can lower it, so I'm getting feedback.
Can you hear me?
You got your yeah. Do you have the show on? Volume on, if you can lower it.
Yeah, I got it on my phone.
Yeah, if you could just lower the volume on the phone, because we're on a little delay.
Yeah, I got it on my phone.
Coach Breslin saying, "What's up, Amari? Welcome to the show."
All right,
Amari, thanks for joining. Let me introduce you. You know Kurt and I, the guy with the Alabama hat. He's not just wearing that Alabama hat because you're on. He's a big fan of Alabama, and our good friend Paul Rosen from Florida. The guy,
How you doing, Amari?
Amari Smith, one of our
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
And his cousin is in the NFL. He's not wearing his jersey, surprisingly. His cousin is his biggest supporters. His cousin is in the NFL. He's not wearing his jersey. Getting a little feedback.
Yeah.
And Manny is saying Kurt is a Cowboys fan at heart. No way. No way.
Maury, you still got it on? You got the volume on?
Kurt is a Cowboys fan at heart. No way. No way.
I'm gonna mute you for a second, Amari, because we're bad feedback. Amari, if you can hear me, yeah. Amari, because we're bad feedback. We're getting the delay. It's on. Does anybody else have it on, Kurt?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You have your phone on? I think that's what it is. There it is.
Anybody else have it on, Kurt?
Nope.
No, I don't think so.
Hearing it. You have your phone on? I think that's what it is. There it is. Yeah, I'm getting a bad echo. I got to mute you for a second. If you got your phone on, Amari, it's the echo on the phone.
Yeah.
If you're watching on Facebook, just go off on the Zoom. Don't watch on the Facebook.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
There you
Better,
go.
yeah.
All
That's
right,
clear.
there we go. We got you finally,
There
buddy.
you are. Yep.
By the way, Kenny, Manny's saying sounds like voices in my head. LOL. That's going to be Dak Prescott tomorrow night. Worried about Tampa Bay's
right.
defense coming at him.
That's right. So we're gonna, Amari said we're gonna bring out for AFC Outlook, Rookie of the Year, stuff like that. But we have a segment called "What's on Sis's Mind," and I think he's gonna go
Bluetooth
off
off.
script. I think I know what's on his mind tonight. Now that you're on, so Sis, the floor is yours.
Yep. We're gonna start out with this.
There it is.
Okay. Hey.
Now, I've been a fan since I'm 14 years old. Okay. I coached high school, college, whatever. Your cousin, hands down, is the best receiver I've ever seen in my life. I love that kid. I hate with the Giants because he should be a Giant. I don't think I'll ever get over that. But that's part of what's on my mind tonight. The other part of what's on my mind tonight, this kid from Florida State the other night,
Right.
Mckenzie Milton. What a story. Did you see the game?
A little bit of it. A little bit of it.
Okay, yeah. This kid 4 years ago was in the top 10 for the Heisman running, and he got hurt, and he wasn't ever even supposed to walk again, let alone play. And he came out and did an unbelievable job for Florida State against Notre Dame. Unfortunately, they lost at the end, excuse me, on a field goal. My question to the audience and Amari is, after watching what Alabama did to Miami, does anybody think, or give me a team you think that's going to really challenge Alabama this year?
Ooh.
Any team you want.
I don't see nobody really challenging Bama at this point. They just fundamentally sound on both sides of the football, and special teams is dope. The whole team is, the coaching is just dope. I got a friend of mine, Devin Poe of Mason. He's a huge Alabama fan too. I just don't, and I'm a Michigan guy. I love Go Blue, but
Okay.
to this point, I can't see no team beating Bama at this point. They're just clicking on every cylinder.
Yeah, I agree with you. They look pretty good. Do you think too much is being made over, like just 1 week of play, like Clemson losing to Georgia, LSU losing to UCLA, North Carolina losing to Virginia Tech? Do you think, like somebody, I think it was on earlier tonight, somebody said, Alabama again, without a doubt, win the national championship. To me, it's too early in the season. You know, I'm a very realistic person.
Right.
Are they gonna be in the playoffs? In my mind, no question about it. Rookie of the year, I think your cousin will be rookie of the year, not because you're on the show. Because I think that combination in Philadelphia is gonna make Philadelphia a little bit better team this year. What's that?
You guys asked me that question a couple of weeks ago, I said Javonte will be the rookie of the year, but then when you look at it, you know, it's gonna be tough. I hope he does, but it's gonna be tough with these quarterbacks.
Yep.
Especially Jacksonville's quarterback. He's Trevor Lawrence. He's gonna be a problem. And I also like Mac Jones.
Yes.
I think he's a system quarterback, and that's what Bill Belichick loves to do, is build system quarterback.
You're 100% correct. Give me your disappointing quarterbacks over the weekend, either from North Carolina, Clemson, or LSU, or whoever. Who were you disappointed that you thought maybe was going to step up and they didn't do it?
You want us to answer too, Sis? Or is
Yeah,
this
absolutely. Everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say
Tell us the
Sam.
order you want us to go with.
I'll go Amari, Paul, Kenny, then Kurt. So we'll go Amari first.
I would say Florida State quarterback
Okay.
because I mean he does have weapons down there, and I think he started off real nervous and shaky. You could see it. He was tip tapping too much in that pocket, and should be 1-2 and get it out.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm a quarterback coach. You know,
Okay.
at the end of the day, you only got 3.1 seconds
To get rid of it.
to that ball.
Okay.
While you're doing your cadence, you should already know when they roll, who's going to be open. And by the snap of the ball, that ball should be out. 3 seconds or less. 3 seconds or less.
Okay.
Wait, Amari,
Kenny?
you said you're a quarterback coach?
Yeah.
You coach high school?
I coach, I've coached the youth. I've coached high school ball. I've coached semi-pro ball. I have
I'll ask it because Kurt and his wife Jen have a high school sports show on.
We got to get Amari on the show.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I got I'm actually the semi-pro team I'm coaching. We didn't have a team this year, but next year we are coming back. We're coming off winning the BGFL championship, so I have another ring that's coming, which makes me have 6 rings.
Nice.
The Tom Brady of.
That's it. The Tom.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, this is one of them.
Yep. Kenny, who was your
Pretty
disappointment this week, quarterback-wise? Kenny?
Well, you're asking me?
Yeah. Your turn.
Disappointing quarterback, right?
Just one.
Sam Howell, North Carolina, hands down.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. Paul, who was yours?
I was going to say Howell too. He was terrible through 3 interceptions. Just had a horrible game in a environment that they probably should have and could have won. So yeah, Howell.
But
I don't want to
that's
hear any
amazing.
talks about him being the top 3 or top 5 pick next year.
Exactly.
It's amazing because I'm going to go to Kurt next, but all 4 of us are all in agreement. It was Howell. Kurt,
Listen, I'm the 5th guy. I agree, and
He is,
I
right.
said
Okay.
it last week. I don't trust them. I don't trust him, and it definitely Sam Howell. Like Paul said, they should have won that. They should have won that game at Virginia Tech. So
Okay. Kenny, no, actually, we'll go to Amari first. What was no surprise to you? What team was no surprise to you this weekend?
Bama.
Yeah.
Bama. Then
Yeah, absolutely.
And then just because I'm a Michigan fan, I like the way Michigan played, even though it was against Western Michigan, but they did execute. They did give up, but defensively though, I believe Michigan has to get more aggressive and stop being so conservative on 3rd and long, because we should be blitzed literally. I mean, you know, at the college level, quarterbacks are being trained to know the defense. So you can't literally just sit there and just bring 4 people and let the quarterback just sit in the pocket. It's not gonna happen.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Mamari, do you like Jim Harbaugh as a coach?
I like him. I like him, but he's too conservative when he needs to be aggressive. I mean, I'm not gonna let any quarterback just sit in the pocket because you'll get picked apart. I mean, you send pressure, you know, get in his head, sending him pressure. And boom. But he just got to be. In my opinion, I'm an aggressive coach. Like I know when to take the foot off, and I know when to keep it on your throat and not let you breathe. So I mean, just Harbaugh needs to be more aggressive. and his coaching staff needs to be a lot more aggressive. So
Very good.
Sis, real quick. Jeremy Oswald saying Ohio State, and then he's also answering saying, I definitely don't like Jim. So that's Jeremy's comment on that.
Kenny.
I actually know Jeremy in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I was gonna go Iowa. I'm gonna stick with the Big Ten. I'm gonna go. Penn State surprised me when going into Wisconsin and taking care of them. A lot of their defense showed up. Caused the turnovers. Penn State should have lost that game, but the defense pulled it through. So sign me up with Penn State. That surprised me.
Paul.
I'm gonna go not so much a team, but you mentioned the young man before, Mckenzie Milton's performance against Notre Dame.
Okay.
The biggest surprise. And the fact that this kid came back and being down here in Florida, Central Florida built that successful college program, essentially starting with him. And the fact that he could come back and do what he did on, I guess it was Sunday night, was amazing to see. And as much of a fan of Notre Dame that I am, if that kid would have pulled it out, I would have had nothing to say except tip my cap and congratulate that young man for doing what he was able to do. It was almost like Alex Smith-like.
Absolutely.
So that would be my biggest surprise.
Okay. Kurt?
Manny's saying Rutgers putting up big points was a surprise. Gotta love the coach. Talking about Coach Shiano. Happy he's back. I bet you that makes Coach Breslin happy because Coach Breslin a big Rutgers fan. I'm gonna say, you know what surprised me a little, and I watched this game. It was at 12 o'clock. It was a great game, but how Wisconsin just fell apart at home. They had the ball like
Penn State,
four times. They had the ball like 4 times inside the 15-yard line. Fumbled. They were messing up snaps. I think they scored like only like 7 points out of 4 possessions. So I give a little credit to Penn State, but they fell apart. And Wisconsin doesn't fall apart at home, so that surprised me a little bit. What didn't surprise me was Bama just being Bama, like Amari said, Kenny said. You guys, they're hands down the best team in college football. And sis, I know you didn't ask me, but right now I think it's honestly, and not that I'm a homer, I'm an Auburn fan. But they got to go to Auburn, and then they're going to play Georgia. I can't see them, nobody even close to beating them. Bobby's saying Notre Dame. I don't know what he's more surprised at, that their offense was aggressive. The defense gave up tons of points to Milton when he came back. But Bobby's saying Notre Dame. So.
Okay, we'll go back to Amari on the last question of the night. Biggest upset in your opinion over the weekend? Who's the biggest upset?
Clemson.
Very good. Kenny?
I was going to go there. Well, I'm going to
You
go.
can go. Yeah, you can go there. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, only scoring 3 points at home. I'm worried about Clemson. I know their defense looked good, but I'm worried about their offense. So Clemson,
Okay.
That was my biggest.
Very good. Paul?
I would have said Clemson, but can I say almost upset? Tulane doing what they did to Oklahoma and going in the way everything took place with that team and the traveling and the hurricane. They could have won that game, and they probably should have won that game with that possession at the end of the fourth quarter, the chance to win, and that would have been an upset. So let me say the near almost upset that Tulane pulled off against Oklahoma.
Okay. Kurt?
Jeremy's saying LSU losing to UCLA was his biggest upset. I'm going to say,
upset, but a lot of people called that upset.
And Manny's saying LSU and Clemson was the biggest upset. But I'm sorry, I agree with Amari, Kenny, with the Clemson thing. But listen, if you're number 20 in the country and you're supposed to, you might win the Pac-12, and that's all I heard is Washington's going to be so good this year, and they lose at home to FCS. Now, they're not even an FBS team. FCS Montana, I think they're the Grizzlies. How do you lose to Montana at home? Number 20 in the country. That's it. I don't care. They shouldn't be allowed to be in the Rose Bowl if they go undefeated. How do you lose to Montana? That's crazy.
That's pretty much equal to a few years back. Amari, Michigan losing to
that's
Appalachian.
crazy.
Yeah, Appalachian. Yeah.
Montana.
That's not Joe Montana.
That was
That's
2000.
the College of Montana.
Yeah.
That was 2006. That happened. Michigan and Appalachian.
Number 20 in the country. Number 20. They scored, what'd they score? 7 points? 13 They scored 7 points against them. And now they got to play. They play Michigan this week, right?
Yep.
Oh, I hope Michigan's going to kill. I hope Michigan puts it on them this week.
Big house.
Oh, forget it.
Kurt will not be allowed in Michigan, in Montana for the.
No, but I hope Michigan's going to put it on them.
And that concludes what's on This Is Mine, my friends. Good job. Thank you for participating.
Can I give y'all my my rookies of the year?
Yeah, you gonna hang around?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang around for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do AFC and then we'll get into the rookies. We'll do that real quick.
Okay.
Kurt, we got one more AFC guy with you now, so it's a little more even playing field.
Good. There you go.
Let's get the AFC East out of the way. I'll start with Paul, and I'll go to Amari, Sis, Kurt. AFC outlook: Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. What are your thoughts on this division? And then give me your division winner.
Okay. Obviously, the Bills are on the come. Josh Allen proved he was an unbelievable quarterback last year, and hopefully he'll improve. But that being said, I think there's another Bill in the division again that really wants to prove that they're back. And I think Belichick naming Mac Jones as quarterback, in addition to bringing in so many new players back to the Patriots, I think he really wants to prove that the division is not a one-horse race after all these years leading the division. The Dolphins, I think, can really compete. I think Tua, bringing in Waddle, and some pretty good. I think they also brought in, I believe it was Will Fuller. I think they have a legitimate offense. Their defense has always been good the last couple of years, so I think they can be competitive. The Jets, I think, will also improve. I like Zach Wilson. I think the new coaching staff is going to give them a direction that they haven't had in the last few years with Adam Gase and all of the turnover of the GMs there. So I like the way they will hopefully build toward the future. I'm picking the Bills again, but I think it could be close with the Patriots, a game or two in the division, but the Bills will be my pick.
Okay. Amari, what are your thoughts on this division?
The Bills, I think they're gonna run through the AFC East. I don't see it. I think they're going to the AFC title game to play my boys.
Fair enough. We're gonna get to your boys in a minute. Rob Neely's got a finally a fellow fan, finally a Titan fan. Our good friend Rob Neely. Okay, so another build. So we got two builds. How about it, Sis?
Well, I gave you it before. I didn't know you were doing this now. Yeah, and I agree with Amari said. The only catch I see here is Mac Jones really steps up. They could give the Bills a run for their money in that division. But outside of that, I agree with Amari. It's Buffalo, man. That Josh Allen, unbelievable player.
Kurt.
Jeremy's saying Bills will be the division winner, and he's also saying Dolphins are definitely underrated. But I'm going to go with Sis Amari, and Paul, and I am going to take Buffalo to win the division and Kenny because he will be your MVP this year also. Josh Allen's the difference in that division.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you all. I'm going to make it fast and sweet. I'm going to go Bills, but I'm going to make a bold prediction. England will take one of two from them. Either home or in Buffalo. They're going to win one of those two games.
Okay.
Let's move to the north, and then we'll have your guys' two divisions. Tough division on paper. It looks like you got the returning champs, the Browns. Then you got the Steelers, the returning division champs. Browns, Ravens, and Bengals. I'm going to start this one with 6.
Kind of tough because Pittsburgh, I think a lot of people are not looking at Pittsburgh as a serious team. Browns are tough, but I'm going to say the Steelers because with Najee in that backfield on offense, man, that kid again. I mean, you guys all know I'm a diehard Alabama fan, but let's put the cards on the table. That kid is the kid's another. I'm blanking out now. The kid from the Titans, the fullback.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Oh my God, he's like his little brother. Same kind of runner. So I'm going to say the Steelers.
I'm going to go fast. I'm going to go next because Sis just stole my thunder. Kurt brought up a stat a couple weeks ago. They haven't had a losing season, since 2003?
Yeah.
They're being overlooked this year by the Browns, who had a good year last year, and the Ravens. So they're being overlooked a little bit, in my opinion. Exactly what Sis said. I'm going Steelers. But I do think the Browns and the Ravens both make the playoffs.
Okay.
I'll go to Amari next.
I said the Ravens.
Ravens?
Going over there. I think they're gonna come out of that division.
You can't go wrong with that pick. I'll go to Paul next, and then we'll finish with Kurt with the North.
I'm also on the Ravens bandwagon. It's a tough division, obviously. I just feel that the Ravens are going to win it. The Browns might take a little step back over last year. And as you said, the Steelers are going to be tough. It's a very tough division, but I'm going to pick the Ravens.
And Kurt.
Jeremy's saying Ravens, I think, will win the division, but the Browns could possibly squeeze in there if they stay healthy. I'm going to go a little different here. The Steelers I'm going to pick as a wild card team. I do not have Baltimore making the playoffs, and I have.
You got the Bengals? You going Bengals?
I'm not going Bengals. I'm going with Jeremy. I'm going Cleveland. Offensive line, good defense. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are ridiculous. Probably the best running back duo in the league. And Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham coming back. I'm telling you, that team, listen, they were this close to beating Kansas City last year, right? That close. They're going to win that division. Cleveland wins the division.
Yes. It's going to be a tough division. You got 3 out of 4 teams that are going to compete. So this is a good division for sure. All right, let's move on to Amari's division. You're going to go last on this one, Amari. You're a Titan fan. I'll start with Paul, the AFC South. You got the Texans, enough said there, the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence, a lot of news, and then you got your Colts and the Titans in that division.
Okay, let's start with the bottom feeders. I think Texas probably is on the clock right now for the number 1 pick in the draft. That being said, I think the Titans are the class of that division. You don't know what you're going to get with Wentz. Is he healthy? Is he not going to be healthy? He's such a crapshoot at this point. And let's face it, as good as Trevor Lawrence is going to be, which I think we can all agree he will be, it's still going to be his rookie year. So I'm going with Amari's Titans as the winner of the division.
Let's go to Kurt next.
I think Amari could take what is it? September, October, November. Amari could take a 4-month nap because his season starts in January when his team romps this division. I think they're Jeremy saying Titans definitely. I love Vrabel, Tannehill. They got Julio Jones now. Like Sis said, the Beast and Henry. They're gonna run the ball. Titans are legit. I think Titans win this. The Titans is gonna be like the Packers in the other thing, where this is gonna be over like 4 weeks left in the season. They'll have the division won.
I'm going to go next. I agree with everything Paul and Kurt said. If the Titans can find a little defense this year, it could be a strong Super Bowl contender. I think the Jaguars can maybe surprise some people later on in the season, win some games, and maybe fight for second place. But I don't think you're getting a wild card out of this division. I think it's the Titans, and that's it out of this division. But, yeah, I think keep the guys healthy, do what you got to do through week 10, week 12. We said it earlier, an extra game this year, rest your veterans, and go into the playoffs healthy, strong, and see what happens. Sis.
Love Coach Grable, my kind of guy. Julio Jones puts this team in the Super Bowl. Enough said.
Whoa.
Woo.
Enough
And Amari,
said.
you're up.
No, I'm going Tennessee Titans. Tighten up. They had a nice offseason. I think Tannehill is going to have a great season because of the simple fact of the run game, and you bring over a Julio Jones, and then you have A.J. Brown on the other side.
Yep,
Like,
that's
boom,
sick.
weapons.
That's sick. Yep, that's sick.
Yep.
Julio's
All
got.
right. Now, last but sorry, Amari.
No,
Last but not least, the AFC West. Everybody in the Chiefs. The field in the Chiefs. Kurt gets to go last. I'll go first on this one. Be silly if the division you're fighting for second, but I do think.
Oh, wait a minute,
Kurt,
Kenny. Wait a minute. Jeremy
Kurt,
saying.
hold your ears.
Wait, Kenny. Hold on. We got one more comment. This is, I think, towards Amari. Jeremy is saying Super Bowl for Titans. No, with a capital N-O. No.
And he's saying Jaguars second place. Absolutely not.
And Manny said he's going to.
Somebody's got to get there with 6 wins. Hey, Jeremy, I'm not saying they get 10 wins. Second place, maybe 6 wins in this division.
Wait a minute. Manny said he's going to start drinking tomorrow night watching his Cowboys with the Bucks. He might have started already because he said Super Bowl for the Cowboys. So we got to check what's in his drinks right now.
I want to know what's in that.
He better stay up all night and drink if he thinks Dallas.
Kurt, you get to go last in this division. But hold your ears because I'm going to give you a team that I think is going to get a little closer to the Chiefs this year, and that's your Broncos. They made the move at quarterback that I think is the right move for this year. Not saying for the next 5 years, but I think for this year, in my opinion, we all know they got the weapons on offense. If Gordon can stay healthy and Williams, your rookie, can split time, Noah Fant steps up, we all know what your defense is like on paper, and Patrick Surtain looks like the real deal as your first-round pick. So, sneaky pick there. And I see the Chargers surprisingly taking a little step backwards. And the Raiders, though, they're not there yet. And, I feel bad for Derek Carr, rather. I feel bad for him. But we'll see, but it's Chiefs and everybody else right now still, unfortunately. Amari.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
No brainer. You see anybody else sneaking in wild card in this division?
Probably the Raiders, man.
Raiders? Okay.
I think they got a nice little chance to get into a wild card.
That's sneaky.
Yeah.
Sis, you're up.
I know Kurt's not going to want to hear this. Teddy Bridgewater puts Denver in the playoffs this year.
Oh, I think he'd want to hear that. If music to his ears if they get to the playoffs.
Don't be laughing too hard, man. I'm worried about him Sunday. Trust me.
And Paul, before we get to Kurt.
Yeah, going along with some of you guys. Obviously, the Chiefs are the class of the division, but Kurt, I also have the Broncos going into the playoffs as a wild card. I know, they've been almost as bad as the Giants have been. I mean, you talk about two teams that are almost mirror images of one another between the Broncos and the Giants. So many different similarities, but I think the Broncos can make it. Their defense obviously is top 10. Their offense, with the weapons that they have, a guy like Bridgewater is going to come in and manage them. And if they can stay healthy, I think they can certainly finish second in the division. I agree with Kenny. I think the Chargers might take a step back a little, and the Raiders, I think, unfortunately, are the Raiders at this point. So, yeah, I see the Chiefs winning division and the Broncos making the playoffs, Kurt.
And Kurt.
I'm echoing just if I had
We're all
notes,
buttering your Broncos up.
If I had notes, they would sound just like Paul. Kansas City's going to win the division. Denver will get in as a wild card. Kansas City's got one more year because we're coming for them. We'll beat them once this year. And next year, we take over that division. And I'm going to say this, Kenny. They will win the West, Kansas City. But I don't have them in the AFC Championship game. I don't think they're better.
Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Well, I'm just saying they're going to be. They're going like this because you know what? The word is out how to beat that team now. Tampa Bay, Fangio did it a little, and then Bowles, showed the blueprint, and they kind of like took the Superman away from Mahomes a little. And I don't know, are they going to run the ball 30 times a game and be patient? Their defense isn't great. I don't know. They'll win the West, but they're on the decline, I think. But they'll win the West.
Hey, Kurt, I have two.
Okay, Paul.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have two questions for you, similar to the questions you asked us about the Giants.
Sure.
How crucial is it for the Broncos to win their first 3 winnable games? And obviously, I'm throwing in the Giants, Jaguars, and Jets. And the 4th game, as you probably know, they play the Ravens. And just to let everyone know, their first 4-game schedule is the easiest games schedule of any team in the NFL. Of course, it's based on records from last year. So based on that, after they play the Ravens, then they play the Steelers, Raiders, Browns, Washington, Dallas, and Eagles. So how important is it for them to get off to a fast start?
I think worst case scenario 2-2. I mean they should be. I think they have to be 2-1 after those first 3 games. And then the Baltimore game, okay, so then 2-2 or 3-1. But here's a stat. Vic Fangio in 2 years has never won a September game. He's 0-7 in 2 years. That's not good. That's not a good stat. So he better wake up and they better start winning. But I think they have to go at least 2-2, 3-1 ideally. But if it's not 2-2, I'm telling you, I think Fangio could be like gone if they're not 2-2. I really do.
That was actually my second question.
I do. I do, because you know what? He made the decision. Listen, and I'm all in on Teddy Bridgewater now. You guys sold me. I'm all in. But Fangio's doing this his way. He's saying, I want a quarterback who's going to manage, hit the little weapons, and my defense is going to win the game. You know what, then? Your defense better win those games. No more blowing leads. No more, giving up, our defense doesn't have turnovers. This is all on his defense now. They spent the most money on the defense. Denver's defense cost the most money in the NFL. Vic Fangio calls that defense. He better deliver. If he doesn't deliver, I think he's gone. Because he, by not playing Drew Lock, he's putting a lot of saying win now mode. So he better win.
Their defense is very similar if you look at both the Giants and Denver, where their strength is maybe the defensive backfield, where they brought in these guys to come along with Justin Simmons. And you look at the Giants' defensive secondary and players there. So their teams are almost mirror images of one another.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's going to conclude our AFC outlook. Maury, I'm going to keep you on for a couple more minutes. I know I've told you to have your Rookie of the Year. So I'll ask you this, and then we'll finish our show with the Bronco talk, and then we'll do our picks for this. Rookie of the Year. Do you have a Rookie of the Year candidate or candidates for this year that you really like? And you can say your cousin.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Smith. Mac Jones. I think he's gonna flourish in New England. He's gonna make some noise.
Okay.
I think he's a good pick to be the starter for New England. They did bring some weapons in. But yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled it off, especially if they get to the playoffs. Like if they get to the playoffs and he puts up tremendous numbers, which I think he's going to do because Bill Belichick can build a quarterback. We all seen it with Tom Brady. And it's like every quarterback that comes in that system does a good job when they playing. Like Brady got hurt, and what's the kid name?
Matt
Garoppolo?
Castle.
Yeah,
Castle, yeah.
Matt Castle, yeah, and actually Garoppolo.
Garoppolo,
yep. He got in when Brady was hurt and won games. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. And then off the top of your head, if you can give us your MVP prediction.
I think Patrick Mahomes, man.
Okay. I'm gonna go AFC champs are gonna be. You can say your team. I know you said it earlier.
Tennessee Titans.
And how about the NFC champs?
Packers or Bucks. I'll go A-Rod.
Packers Titans. That's a nice little Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl champ will be
Tennessee.
Awesome. Anybody have anything else for Maury? I want to thank you for stopping in. Maury's going to be coming on a lot with us throughout the football year, hanging out with us.
I want to ask him one question. What is it like being at a game in Alabama?
I've never been to a game in Alabama. I recently found out
over at the Big House.
I recently found out once they announced Devontae Smith's name as the Heisman, my cousin hit me up quick. My cousin's name is Keith Austin. He hit me up quick.
Okay.
Like, did you see Fam do it? And I was like, what you mean? He was like, did you see Fam do it? He won Heisman. I'm like, Devontae Smith?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's family. We all grew up in the same house together, you know.
Yep.
That's family.
Yep.
He's like, that's little cuz. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yep.
Man.
The reason why I asked you because I'm going to the LSU game November 6th.
Okay.
That's why I was asking. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm actually I'm trying to get to the Michigan versus Washington game this week. And the last time I've been there, they were still building onto the stadium. Like literally. I'm like, wow. So I'm trying to get to that one too. It was a cakewalk with Western Michigan, but it was fun to be there. But
where do you actually live?
I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
We met Amari through Carson. So.
Kenny, I'm going to make Amari happy right now. And Kenny, I want you to take my words, and you could write down the time. It's 10:07. You ready, Amari?
Yeah.
Michigan beats Ohio State this year.
I hope so.
They beat Ohio State.
I hope so.
Take it. I'm telling you, they're at home.
Not Harbaugh's out of there.
I'm telling you, they're going to beat Ohio State at home this year.
Well, anybody else anything for Maury? Again, Maury, can't thank you enough for coming on tonight on short notice. I'll probably see you on Carson's thing. I'm going to come on after there and hang out for a little bit. Carson's stream. I don't know if you're going over that way.
Yeah, I'll probably head that way.
Thank you, Amari.
Yeah, anybody, Kurt, Paul, anything for Maury?
No.
Anytime you want to come on, Amari.
Good luck on Saturday in the season.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk to your cousin, wish him the best of luck, even though I'm a Giants fan. We're all Giants fan. We're rooting for him.
Yes,
you know,
we are.
your family,
Yes, we
you know, he becomes part of our family. So we want him to do well, obviously.
All right.
Thank you, Amari.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you.
bud.
All right now.
Take care.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, guys, that
Thank
was
you,
Amari
Amari.
Smith.
Yeah.
We had the pleasure of meeting him through Carson. Again, he's
That was some curveball, Kenny.
Cousins. Sis's biggest Amari Devontae Smith's biggest fan is Mr. Siciliano, and just coincidentally, we got his cousin on with us. So
A couple
Thought you would
things,
like
couple
that,
things
sis.
real quick, Kenny. Jeremy is saying Rams will probably win the Super Bowl. Jeremy disagrees with me and says, nope, Michigan will not, unfortunately, defeat Ohio State. Manny's saying Buffalo is Super Bowl bound with MVP Josh Allen.
I got a couple Bronco questions for Kurt for Bronco Mania real quick, and then I don't know, Sis, if you have any. Paul, I know you asked yours.
Yeah.
You have any, Sis?
No,
I
I
know,
don't have.
I know Amari had to leave, so I wanted to,
No.
jump ahead there. I got a couple questions for Kurt for Bronco Mania.
Okay.
And then, Sis, if you have any, you can ask too. My first question to Kurt is going to be, in your opinion, Kurt, will Teddy Bridgewater have a short leash if the Broncos get off to a slow start to their season, like they were saying Drew Lock is going to have a short leash?
Yes.
And what would that short leash be? How many games?
4. Like we said, he has to be 4-1. If they're anything other than, 4. They has to be 2-2. If he's 1-3, I think the switch is going to be made. I think the fan base in Denver is going to go absolutely nuts if Drew Lock is on the bench and that team is 1-3, especially if they're losing games like 20-17 and they're not scoring points. I'm going to say 4 games. He has to be 2-2. If he's not 2-2, that's it. Drew Lock's going to come in. And it could be Teddy to the bench and Vic Fangio gone if they're not 2-2.
And Paul, and they got the easiest schedule.
Right.
Exactly.
Especially they're playing the Jets, Jaguars, and Giants.
And it's Baltimore at home, so that could be a winnable game,
Right.
It's hard to win in Denver. My second question to you, Kurt, is a short one. What percentage of playing time will Javonte Williams have this year? 2-part question. And will he take the job away from Melvin Gordon if Melvin Gordon's healthy?
Listen, I'm pumped up for Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be a beast. Sis is talking about Najee and Pittsburgh, but this guy's a bowling ball. The thing is that Melvin Gordon's making $8 million a year, so he is going to play. I'm going to say it's going to start at 60-40, 60-40 going with Melvin Gordon, but I think he's going to get a lot of time.
My last question to you, and then Sis, if you have any questions, and Paul, if you want
Yeah, I
to.
have one for him.
Same question you asked me. I swear we didn't talk before the show. What is your best and worst case scenarios for the Broncos this year, Kurt?
Best case scenario is tough. Playoffs. I mean, listen, the best. If I had to answer this 2 weeks ago, best case scenario is you make the playoffs and Drew Lock is the future quarterback of the Denver Broncos, and you know it. I'm going to switch that now. Best case scenario is defense is top 3 defense in football. They run the ball. Bridgewater manages the game, makes plays with the weapons, and Denver gets in the playoffs, beats KC one time, competes, and next year they're really ready to roll. Worst case scenario is if this team, again, if Fangio's defense does not come through and the offense sputters and they're averaging 20 points a game. It's the fan base isn't happy. They're still really not happy because they know Bridgewater's not the future quarterback. And when I say future, the next couple years, I think you have the fan base turn. I think Fangio's going to be gone. And it could get ugly to where it's a new ownership next year, a new quarterback, and a new head coach. So I think that's the worst case scenario.
Okay, and how do you think our good friend Briggsy Mania, Briggsy Bronco Mania, back to question 1, how do you think Mr. Briggs would feel, who would he want at quarterback, for Bridgewater or Locke? You know him better than anybody.
You know
As
what?
a fellow Bronco fan.
If you told me Andy Dalton, you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say he would want Drew Lock, because he wasn't a fan of Alex Smith. He wasn't a fan of Andy Dalton. The game managers. And I agree with him. I'm not a fan of that either. It's very hard to win like that. So I'm not going to say he was the biggest. I was a bigger Drew Lock fan than him. But I think he would rather go Drew Lock and then go big. And he still owes me, and he better get me Aaron Rodgers for next year. But I think he would want Drew Lock over Bridgewater.
Okay. Sis, anything, or are we good?
Yeah, no, I got one for him real quick. With your first 4 games in these teams that you're playing, will you be disappointed if you're 1-3? And if that happens, will they yank Teddy Bridgewater?
I told you, sis, and I swear, if they're 1-3, I want Bridgewater gone, Lock in, and I want Fangio gone. That's hands down.
I understand what you want, but in reality,
because it's unexcusable. You're in a win mode now. You can't be 1-3 with that schedule. You can't.
At Giants, at Jacksonville, Jets at home, Baltimore at home.
You can't.
2-2 at the worst.
You can't lose to 2 rookie with your defense, with all that money. You're going to lose to 2 rookie quarterbacks, like Paul said. Come on, no way.
You're losing to the number 1 and the number 6 in the draft.
No way.
Got news for you. The Panthers are going to beat the Jets.
I think so too.
Panthers are going to beat the Jets.
All right, Kurt, we got a few minutes left. Preview show. We can go a little overtime, but we got a couple of do these on a quick hitter style. I'll start with you, Kurt. Your MVP of this year is going to be
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Mr. Paul Rosen, you're up.
I had 2. It might sound like it's chalk, but I am going to go with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
I like it. And Sis, your MVP.
Kurt stole my thunder. Josh Allen.
I'm going a little bold. I was thinking Josh Allen, but a lot of people are on the Josh Allen bandwagon there. I'm going Matthew Stafford in the NFC. I think this team may go to the Super Bowl this year. And I think that better quarterback over there is going to make a lot of noise. Okay, let's go Rookie of the Year. Mr. Paul Rosen, you're up first.
Okay. For my offensive Rookie of the Year, we talked about the rookie quarterbacks. Mr. Harris, Sis loves. Mr. Smith, Sis loves.
Yep.
With a guy who I think is going to be an excellent quarterback is Zach Wilson. I think he's going to prove that finally the Jets have a quarterback they can build this franchise around. And I just have a sense that he's going to be the quarterback that they finally are looking for. So he will be my offensive Rookie of the Year. And Kurt, I'm going with someone who will be near and dear to your heart.
Number 2, baby. Number 2.
That's it. Mr. Surtain II is going to be my defensive Rookie of the Year.
Let's go to Sis next.
Surtain will be the Rookie of the Year. And I'll go with 2 for Offensive Player of the Year, Najee Harris, and my boy, Mr. Devontae Smith.
All Bama guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I'll go next. I got Mac Jones, the one guy you didn't say for Alabama, as Rookie of the Year on offense. And I'm going Bama. I'm sweeping the board so far. I'm going Patrick Surtain on defense. Love what I'm seeing from this kid. And Kurt, you wrapping up the Rookie of the Year.
Of course, I'm going to go Patrick Surtain. Offensively for Amari, Devontae Smith's going to be electric. For Sis, Najee is going to be electric. But it's going to be so hard, like Paul's saying. You got a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who they're saying is the best quarterback to come out in years. And you got Zach Wilson, who's going to be in New York. So it's going to be so hard to not be a quarterback. I'm just going to take Trevor Lawrence. I could see it being Zach Wilson, Paul. I really can. But I can also, I got to go Trevor Lawrence. I've been with him for day one. I'm going to pick Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, I'm going to start with Sis on this one. Give me your AFC championship, Sis.
The winner or what?
The championship game, the two teams that are going to play in the AFC championship.
Buffalo? Kansas City.
Who wins?
Why'd you have to ask that question?
Oh, hold on.
No, that's cool. I'm going with Buffalo. I'm sold on Buffalo.
Buffalo's going to represent the AFC, okay?
Yeah.
Kurt.
Sis's Buffalo is going to be in it, but they're going to get beat by, you ready for this, guys? You ready? Defense, running the ball, and a couple playmakers. The Cleveland Browns will be in the Super Bowl, boys.
Wow.
Cleveland beats
First
Buffalo.
time.
He's drinking the same Kool-Aid Coach Breslin.
Cleveland beats Buffalo.
Paul.
Well, it's not because my orthopedist is a big Chiefs fan, but the Chiefs will be in there, and I'm going to go back to a team that had the MVP a couple years ago, the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm going to have the Ravens playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game.
Nice. And who's going to win that championship game?
The Chiefs will go to the Super Bowl for the third straight year.
I'm going to go Buffalo like everybody else. There's a lot of people on that Buffalo bandwagon. I'm one of them. The team's gotten better every year under Sean McDermott. And what else is there to do now? Go to the AFC Championship. I got them playing Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
As a wild card, Baltimore gets in, pulls off the upset against Kansas City, but then loses in the AFC Championship to Buffalo. Buffalo is going to the Super Bowl to represent the AFC. Let's move to the NFC. I'll start with Kurt, since you're the only AFC guy on here.
My NFC, again, my theme is simple. By the way, Jeremy's saying Cleveland will beat Buffalo. Ravens have got to get better at defense if they want to make it to the Super Bowl. Defense and running the ball and quarterback play to make a couple plays. Brady gets there. Brady gets beat by Sean McVay and the Matthew Stafford-led Rams.
I got to go next because that's my NFC Championship, and that's my pick. Rams over Bucks. Sis.
I'm going to say Rams. I'm going to say the Giants.
From your mouth to God's ear.
Who wins
I'm
that? Who
gonna
wins
say
the
the
championship game, Sis?
The Rams.
Oh,
No.
Sis, if you got the Giants
Sorry,
going.
no. Hey, I
I
got
hope
you that
Flipper
far.
Anthony isn't there.
I got you that far.
Love it.
I would
Sis.
take that. Guys, I would take that if they got to the championship game. Even if they lost.
Then Gettleman would be safe.
Right.
And Paul, who do you got in the NFC?
Okay. I'm torn between two teams. Well, I have one team, but I'm torn between two other teams that I think might be there. But I'm going to say, like you guys, I'm going to say the Rams will face the Packers. The Bucks are going to get beat, and it's going to be the Rams and Packers in the championship game, and the Packers will win, and it'll set up a rematch of Super Bowl I between the Chiefs and the Packers.
I got to go right back to you then for the Super Bowl winner of the repeat Super Bowl I. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
All right. I'm going to say, once again, it will be the Packers. They will, Aaron Rodgers will bid a fond farewell, holding up the Super Bowl trophy, and he's going to wave it to Kurt because he will be going to Denver next year.
Love it.
I want $60 million next year.
I'll give him $90 million.
And so I think that will be his last game, and he wins the Super Bowl, and he will then go on to bigger and better things, hopefully for Kurt's sake.
Solid pick. Solid pick. Sis, who's winning the Super Bowl?
I already told you 3 times tonight.
Yep, I know. Just for the record, Bills, right?
Buffalo Bills.
You know what, sis? Me and you got the same Super Bowl. Bills and Rams.
Yep.
And I got Buffalo Bills Mafia, our good friends, Viva Los Bills. I'm going to make them I want to wager right with them. I'm going to go on their show tomorrow and say, the Bills win the Super Bowl. I want to see both of those guys go through a table. And they
Exactly.
Kurt, Super Bowl winner.
Cleveland Brown fans are going to be ecstatic that they're in the Super Bowl, but they're not going to win it. The Rams over the Browns. Return the Belt is giving us a thumb up. I'm going to go Rams over the Browns, and McVay and Stafford and Carson Shear are happy because he finally gets a Super Bowl.
That's awesome. That is all I have for Super Bowl NFL. Anybody else have anything before we get our closing thoughts in?
That's it.
Nope. That's it.
Nothing.
Awesome show, guys. Kurt, take it away.
My final thoughts are this, and you guys, I'll start it off. I'm just pumped up. It's football. I love the 4. I hate, I'll be honest, I hate 1 o'clock games. I don't like the, my favorite game is the 4:25 game. And I am super pumped that it's, at MetLife, 4:25. Let's go, Teddy. Let's get this defense rolling, baby. Pound it with Javonte, pound it with Gordon, and let's start 1-0. I'm super pumped up. Kenny,
Sis,
you know what? Let's go.
word.
Let's go to Sis.
Oh, you take over. This is your part. Yeah, you tell us the order you want us to go.
Sis, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts, it was a great show tonight. And the pads do the talking.
Mr. Paul Rosen, your final thoughts.
I'm looking forward to Sunday. Ironically, I have to work Sunday. Fortunately, my shift ends at 4 o'clock. So as soon as 4 o'clock comes and I punch out, I will be hauling butt, picking up my wife, and getting to the Buffalo Wild Wings, hopefully in time for the start of the game.
There you go.
425. Just don't get caught speeding over there because then you'll end up missing half.
Right. No. I think it's going to be a close game. Like I have said a couple of times, I think the teams are so evenly matched. It wouldn't surprise me if it comes down to a last-second field goal by McManus or Graham Gano, 17, 14, 2017 kind of game, low scoring, and defenses at this point for both teams dominating. So we'll see, but I'm pumped.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick, take us away.
I got a couple final thoughts. First of all, I want to thank Amari for coming on a little later with us and hanging out for a few minutes. And, of course, I want to thank Paul for being a special co-host throughout the evening with us. It was a pleasure having you on. And you're our second. Coach Breslin has his own segment called The Whiteboard, but now you have your own segment. And we'll definitely invite you back on again throughout the season. We'll definitely invite you on again. We got Major League Baseball playoffs coming up soon, and Giants, always welcome to have another Giant fan on. And love having you on. You're always a great guest and always a lot of fun throughout the night. And my other final thought is, Paul, I'm going to send you a link to the show we're doing on Sunday.
Okay.
I'm going to have some fun with those Bronco guys, me and Sis. I'm going to invite Sis over with me. We're going to have a little fun little trash talking on that.
What time is that?
What time is the show?
Sunday?
That's going to be Sunday morning, our time. It's going to be 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 a.m.
Nice, nice.
Okay.
It's called the Rocky Mountain Sports Report, but it's also going to be on K&K Sports Show. We're gonna have a link for that show. Please check us out. We're gonna have fun little pregame, some trash talk,
Great.
Giants and Broncos talk.
Dave's
Other than that,
going to be on
obviously
his.
looking forward to Sunday. Tomorrow is Wits and Wagers Thursday, and
Is Dave going to be on that show?
yeah,
Nice,
yep.
nice.
Have some fun, sis, and we'll get on those Bronco guys for you, Paul.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Again,
boys. Have a
Good
good
seeing
night.
you, Paul.
same here. Thank you so much, guys. I had a great time. Always a
Same
pleasure
here.
to
Go
see you
Broncos.
here every month.
Go Broncos.